Hello everyone and welcome back to Soul MCA's channel. I wanted to follow up the last video, You Hold the World in My Hands by Israel, the bass tutorial I did there, with this video. That footage you saw was from a service that I sent to my friend to be put together as a collaborative for a online service. Now you might have heard it and said, well, you could have did more with the song, or maybe you felt I did too much with the song. You didn't hear the parts I cut out. But I want to talk about why I played it the way I played it in this video. But before I do that, I want to address a few things. Number one, my war against the copyrights continue. Two of my more recent videos have been hit with copyright infringements. And so I get that the companies have to get their money, but that makes sense for me for covers. It doesn't make sense for me for tutorials where I'm getting hit on tutorials by some of these production companies. But it is what it is. Needless to say, it will change some things I do going forward. I'm going to give them one more chance. I said it before. And then I'm going to see what else I can do or what else needs to be done to try to get around that as much as possible. So you might start seeing a little bit different content. I may go away from the tutorials for a while. We'll see how it plays out. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about are these t-shirts. You can see it, King Arthur Sound shirt is amazing. This young man and his brother are 2 out of the 3 bass students that I have, and he is really getting there. This gentleman is really getting there. He's only 13. Go and check him out on IG at kingarthurs.sound, and I will put it somewhere here on screen. Check him out. He's a monster on organ and keys. He's getting there with the bass, and he's starting to get there on drums as well. So definitely one to watch coming up. And I know that brings me to the question for some of you, well, how can we get lessons with you, Soul MCA? It's not something I'm doing at this time, but I am trying to do something. So hopefully sometime in the nearer future, sooner rather than later, I can be able to provide that maybe service to some of you who may be interested. Also, his mother, I want to shout out his mother. His mother actually made these shirts. I'm going to put her IG handle somewhere on the screen here as well. She's amazing if you're looking for shirts. She doesn't just make this one, she makes plenty. All kinds of things, not just shirts, hats, all kinds of things. She puts designs on them. So if you like this, I really do. It feels comfortable, looks great, then check her out. Okay, so those are the things I wanted to address there as well. I got a couple more tutorials. I know some of you are still waiting, like what's going on. A few of you need to check comments. Some of you have asked for things, and I'm not sure what the song is. I'm not sure who the artist is. And if you don't get back to me, I'm not gonna do your tutorial because I don't know if that's the song or I can't find the song. So if you did ask for something previously, just make sure you checked the comments the videos that you may have put comments on, and respond to the question that I had for you. So back to the purpose for this video, which is why play or knowing when or what to play on bass. So I had a friend of mine who I've played in several bands with who came to me and said, hey, would you be willing to play a service for us via video? Just record the song, send it to us, whatever the case is. Okay. And my first question to him was this: how do you want me to play the record? And I'm going to give you all some examples of this in a second. I said, do you want me to play the record? Do you want me to add some color? Do you want me to make it bass heavy, or do you want me to just straight gospelize it? And you might say, well, I've played with this gentleman probably for 3 or 4 years now in various bands and various settings. And he, as an individual, is one who likes some really crazy music. Meaning things that are out there are really like musically heavy, like your Corey Henrys or musically involved, people like that. So I know that he is into possibly doing a lot of things or being more creative with the music. I don't want to say a lot of things with a bad connotation, but he's okay with a lot going on in the song. But I asked him, and his answer was, play the record, maybe add some color. And so I was okay with that. I was fine with that, because here's what you have to understand. As a musician, you're always playing for the music director, right? The music director is the person who's in charge of the band. Whatever they want is what you have to give. I saw a video recently that's apparently been going around for a while, and the bass player was playing one thing, and the keyboardist was like, "Yo, what you doing? Why are you doing that?" And he was like, "Because I feel like it." Now, that's cool and all, but that's the person you're playing for. You know, if the MD wants to play it a certain way, play it that way. And so I always go to play like my surroundings. And the reason for that is because the MD should always be playing for the praise and worship leader. And the praise and worship leader should always be playing for God with the purpose of bringing the people into worship. And so you've got to kind of submit to whoever's over you. And so at times that may require me to play less than I can play. You got to be okay with that. If you want to have a career in bass, you've got to be okay with that. It might require me playing more than I'm normally comfortable with. Like I might be like, this is not really pocket, this is doing too much. But if that's what the MD wants, that's what the MD wants. You got to do what the MD wants. And so let me give you some examples of that. And just know over the years, you'll kind of develop a way or understanding of how much to play. But you should always be asking people you play for, whether you play for them regularly or not. And even if it's someone you're cool with that you play with regularly, you should be asking yourself these questions. All right, am I going into a worship service? Should I really be extrally gospelizing these songs, or should I just be kind of playing a record with some color? If I'm going into an entertainment setting, a concert, well then let me gospelize it and make it bass heavy, because you do want to kind of have people paying attention to the music and, you know, watching you, that musician's corner that'll be there watching you. That's the setting for that. But a worship service may not be the setting for that. You're at an outdoor concert, whatever the case is. These are questions you should always be asking yourself. How should I approach this song? What should I do? What is too much? When is too much? Whatever the setting is, and go appropriately from there. So let me give you some examples. All right, so just so everyone can follow along, let's take a simple song like How Great Is Our God that everyone knows or should know or can easily know, right? And let's, for the sake of this video, say that the record is pocket, right? Let's use them as synonyms, record or pocket. Now, the record could have licks in it and stuff like that, and if that's there, do them. If it's in the record, you're safe. If the MD said play it to the record and those stuff are in there, you can play it that way. All right, but for the purpose of this example, I'm going to play like the progression just straight. I'm not going to put any additive anything. All right. How great. Now you might say that was extremely boring. You could play more. Yeah, I could, but that's not what the MD wants. And neither is that what the song is calling for in, let's say, a specific setting. You know, it's real solemn worship. They just came out of worship with just keys and strings, right? And now they want the band to come in, but they want to keep it there. Why would you do extras? Just keep it there. It's fine. We know you can play. This is all it calls for, all right? Now, let's say my friend who had asked me to help him said, all right, give me some color, which he did. He said, play it and give me some color. I would play something like this. One, two, three. Sounds nice, right? Still relatively pocket. I'm there. I'm not trying to grab anybody's attention. I'm still like back in the background supporting the music, just making it not so mundane, right? And that's cool. That's cool. That is good. If you know how to add some color without going over the top, that is great. That is a good place to play. So that works, right? But then let's say he said, all right, give me something a little bass heavier. Now, bass heavier could mean a couple different things. I'll play just one of what of those type of examples could mean and go from there. So he says, give me something bass heavy. Now I might do something like so say, okay, that's not, you're not, maybe not moving as much or whatever the case is, but it's a lot more percussive, throwing octaves in there, muting a little bit. I'm really like being percussive with the bass and making the bass feel like it's coming forward a little bit more. Not necessarily doing more, just, you know, the bass is there. It's not like a straight, like let's say I was playing some CCM and it could just kind of, or maybe it's mimicking the kick drum. Boom, 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 boom. You know, and you can kind of forget the bass is even there because it's not doing much. You just know it's there because you're feeling it with the kick drum, right? But something like this, right? You can feel the percussiveness. You know, oh, there's a bass player on this track, right? And then the last example is the gospelized example, right? To me, when somebody says gospelized, it means you can go for a little bit more blood. You can throw in your substitutions. You can throw in your chords. I'm not going to do that stuff. I'll give you a minor example. I'm not going to go crazy. How great is our God. How great. Right, so I'm doing a little bit more, just playing with it. I'd go for, as the song goes on more and more, I'd go for more and more blood. Now, what's interesting about all of these examples is you could progress through a song like this and it would still be fine. You know, when I get songs and I'm playing, even in church, this is always my thought process in the back of my head. Like, what should I be playing now, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, how can I move this song along? And so I kind of do this from start to finish anyway. Fortunately, I'm the music director at my own church. So I know I'm not going to do anything distasteful to upset the MD because I have the fortune of being an MD. But let's say I wasn't. Let's say I was playing for somebody else. What I would do is I would watch them. It's my first time playing with this organist. I just sit down. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is play to the record. And he may look over, give me a couple nods or something. I'm going to try to add some little color stuff and see how he or she reacts. They gave me a little nod or like, okay. Or they may say like, turn up, yeah? Or yeah. Something like that. That's an affirmative. Okay. I can go further. Then I might start pulling out somewhere between the more bass heavy and the gospel. Right? And I'm going to watch the reaction. I'm not going to throw out something super big at first. I'm going to throw out something in betweenish. Okay, they say, all right, if I get a good response, I'll go for a little bit more. And then over the course, that might be over the course of one song. It might be over the course of a couple songs. Once I see that they're comfortable with me or that they're giving me something that's like, okay, yeah, you're good, man. Go ahead. Yeah. You sound good. Something like that. I'm going to start going for it and let my hands go a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. That's how you want to approach music. That's how you know what to do or how much is too much. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You know, as bassists, it can be very easy to get into your little bubble and do your own thing and ignore what the drummer is saying. Because when we're playing music, we're talking. Ignore what the drummer is saying on his instrument. What he's saying with the kick drum and the snare. What he's saying with the hi-hat. It could be very easy to ignore the riff that the organist just did that you could have jumped on, and then the next time around, that could be a band hit for you guys because you were paying attention. You have to listen to everything else that's going around. You can't just play for yourself. And if you get a look from someone that's like, don't try that again. Don't do it again. Okay, you can play, and you get one of these from the keyboardist. Stop what you're doing and go back to step one. Go back to the pocket. Go back to the record. Listen, when in doubt, record it out. You can never be wrong playing the record. The only time that the record might not work and you might sound bad playing the record is if you're with, let's say, a band like Soundcheck, like Ty Tribbett's band, right? And they're at a concert and they're going for it with all these hits and stuff, and you're still playing the record. That would be the only time you'd be out of place. But you still would sound good because you're playing the record, but you'd sound a little out of place because you're not moving as much as everybody else, or doing as much hits and things as everyone else. So that's my advice to you all regarding how to play, or how much to play, or what to do on bass when you're approached with a song. And you can do all of them in one song. You can do 2 of them in one song. You could do 3 of them, whatever the case is. Or you could just stay at home in the record and you'll be fine. All right, so God bless you. For all probably like 53 of you that'll watch this, because it's not a tutorial video, God bless y'all. I hope this helped. And we'll call this practical lesson. This is definitely going to be a practical lesson. God bless. Take care. See you next time. Thank you for completing another video by yours truly, Soul MCA. If you enjoy instructional lessons, bass tutorials, helpful facts and information, then this channel is certainly for you. Please like and subscribe and join this growing community where we take the mystery out of the music. Remember, the good musicians get the gigs, but the cocky ones don't keep them. Check out one of my other videos here, and we'll see you next time.